Hey there, girls and boys. Abby Brown here from Iowa PBS. Come wander and wonder with me. My friend Will Fett is here from the Iowa Ag Literacy Foundation because Evie and I are going to learn about
evergreens.
So a lot of trees this time of year are going dormant or going to sleep, and the leaves are changing and they're even falling off. But evergreen trees are staying green. They're continuing to grow. A lot of people like to use them for decorating. So tell us about those trees.
Absolutely. Evie, where are we?
We're at the tree farm.
Exactly. And there's lots of different kinds of trees here on the farm. And people use different kinds of trees to decorate their house during the holiday season. Are all the trees kind of the same shape?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, they're really nice, almost triangular, but they're not that way all the time naturally. So one of the things that farmers do is they'll shear the tree, they'll shape it, and make sure that all of the branches look like a really beautiful tree. The first one I'm going to introduce you to is the spruce tree.
Ooh.
Now, this one has kind of sharp needles. Do you want to feel that?
So when you go like this way, it kind of feels soft, but when you go this way, it feels pointy.
Exactly. Good observation. Now, take this needle off of the tree and run it between your fingers.
What do you notice?
Kind of feels like bumpy.
Exactly. So spruce trees have little ridges on their needles, and when you roll it between your fingers, it feels bumpy.
Can I try?
And that's how you know that it is a spruce tree.
Okay.
We also have pine trees. So not all of these are pine trees, but these two examples that I have are.
This one has two going out, and this one just is a straight line.
All right, so there's different types of branching mechanisms, but I'm gonna have you look even closer, and I'm gonna pick off a bundle of needles. How many needles are in that bundle? Here, Abby.
All right.
5.
5. So this is a white pine, and that's a very specific type of pine tree. How many needles are in that bundle?
2.
So we have two completely different species here. One has 5 needles and one has 2. Our last type of tree that we have are fir. And these are 2 different types of fir. Now the main difference here is how they feel. Just run your hands along that. An easy way to remember it is firs are flat and friendly. So if we look at the needles are a little bit softer and they're flat. I know I just introduced you to these, but which one do you think is your favorite?
Probably the first one.
You know what? That's mine too, because it has one more benefit. So I'm gonna ask you to pick some needles and try and break them and crush them and then smell your fingers, okay?
I was wondering about this.
Yes.
Take some.
So pick some needles, break them, crush them in your finger, and then put your fingers up to your nose and smell them.
Ready?
What does it smell like?
It smells like the tree.
It smells like the tree.
And a lot of people love this smell, and that's
Exactly.
one of the reasons they bring them into their homes.
Yes. So all pine trees are going to have a scent, but firs, to me, are the best because they really have that lovely scent. And if you have a garland or a wreath or something like that, it's going to release that beautiful scent into your home.
So Evie, do you have Christmas at your house?
Yeah.
And do you guys bring a tree into your house?
Yeah.
A real one? Yeah, and lots of people do bring trees and greenery for that delicious smell into their homes, but there's lots of things to consider, right, Will?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So one of the first things we need to do is cut the tree down, right?
Oh, yeah.
Get it as close to the ground as possible because that way nobody will trip over the stump, but will also help the stump decompose and turn back into dirt.
Wow.
Now, when you get home, you may or may not put it into water immediately, and that means that the tree might start to dry out. So we have some celery here as an example, and take a look at this celery. What do you notice about the ends of that celery?
It looks like it's kind of dry.
Yeah, so we cut this celery yesterday, and overnight it started to dry out. And the same thing might happen with your Christmas tree. So when you get home, one of the first things that you'll do is cut the bottom off the Christmas tree. Just cut a little piece off the celery.
Go. If I switch it around.
Yep,
here.
go for it.
All right, now what does it look like?
Oh, is it different? Do you see the difference?
Yeah, this one's dry and now it's wet.
Exactly. So it's that wet layer that we want to get to. And you do the same thing with the Christmas tree. Cut maybe an inch or two off the bottom of the Christmas tree and then put it in water. When we put the Christmas tree in the water, it's going to start to drink it up, right? Let's pretend the celery is our Christmas tree.
Okay.
And we're going to do a little experiment.
Yes.
Do you like doing experiments?
Oh yeah.
All right. So the first thing with our celery is these leaves are gonna represent our best growing material.
Okay.
So we're gonna just pick out some of the outer ones, and can you help me out and just pull those off? We're getting down to the good leafy ones. Can you go and pick maybe 2 or 3 of the good leafy ones to use? So the next thing, remember, plants drink water, and they have these little vessels inside.
Okay.
Plants have phloem, which moves nutrients,
Okay.
and xylem that moves the water up into the plant.
And they're both like tubes?
They're specialized cells that act like tubes. We're gonna set up some jars and pour some water in. So maybe Abby, you can pour the water in, and Evie, can you put the food coloring in? Because this is gonna show us how the plants drink water. So let's put about 10 drops of food coloring into the jar. Food coloring is gonna allow us to see the water moving up the plant.
What do you think we should do next?
We have to cut the end off
Yeah, and why is that?
because the end of it is always dry, but then when you cut off the end, it's always wet in the middle.
All right.
All right, so go ahead and take this celery and then put it in the red and kind of swish it around. This is gonna take a little bit of time. So we really do need to be patient and wait. It might take overnight, it might take even a couple of days. And the longer that we let it sit, the cooler it's gonna be.
So these are the ones we started yesterday. And what happened, Evie?
They turned the color that the water is.
So as I look closely at the side of the celery, those darker specks,
Yep.
that is the xylem. If I start to break this apart and pull it, you can see the xylem goes all the way up the edge of the celery there.
Oh, look
See?
at that.
These celeries drank up the colored water and turned blue, turned red, turned yellow, green, purple. It's because they sucked up that water, and we can tell that because it also sucked up the color in that water.
So if we put these different colors of water in with our Christmas tree or our plants at home, would it change the color of those plants?
That would be fun, but no.
No, okay.
Aw.
But this does prove that our plants are getting the water that they need.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, Christmas trees are really thirsty, and they're gonna take a lot of water. They might drink up to 1 gallon of water a day.
Wow.
So it's really important that you keep the tree stand full of water all the time. And that might mean watering every single day. The most important thing to remember is that they are plants and they drink water, and once we bring them into our homes, it's important to take care of them.
Will, thank you so much for teaching us so much today. Evie, what did we learn about?
We learned about different types of evergreen trees.
And we learned that trees drink water. What adventures will you go on? Have fun with it.